Nigel Farage, thank you for joining us today on GB News. You saw Shabana Mahmood's statement yesterday in the House of Commons. Are you worried she's eating your lunch?
Oh, I've heard that phrase before. You know, do you remember when David Cameron promised a referendum? That's it. It's all over for UKIP. We won the European elections the year afterwards. No, and all she does is validate our position. I mean, particularly with the rhetoric that she was using. Look, I wish her well, but I just don't see. Do
you really, though? Will you support her? The Tories will support her measures. Will you vote for those measures they announced yesterday?
Well, I'll vote for measures if I think they're actually going to work.
So will you vote for her measures?
No. I'll vote for them if I think they're going to work. Let's see how it all gets amended. And let's bear in mind that all the while we have the Human Rights Act, all the while we're signed up to the ECHR, all the while we have the judges and the judiciary in our post-Blair world that we've got. Would I vote for something that I don't think can work? Unlikely.
Do you want her to succeed in dealing with the small boats crisis?
I'd love a British government to control our borders, make us wealthy.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't need to bother them, would I?
I only ask that because some very senior Labour figures tell us that you don't want them to succeed. Because the reason is this. Yeah. If they fail, it makes the case for ECHR withdrawal.
Yeah, listen, you've got to remember, you're dealing with those people. You're dealing with Oxbridge careerists. I'm not. I don't need this job. I'm doing this because I believe I can make a difference.
You want them to fail so you can become PM in 2029.
That's your mindset. That's how you all think. I'm not like that.
That's how they think.
Well, of course they do, because they're all from the same circle of people.
So you believe in national interests.
I am in politics to do something, not to be something. And if they do all of it in the next few years, I won't personally be needed.
You'll retire happily. That's nonsense.
But you know it's not going to happen.
You've announced plans today for £25 billion worth of spending cuts. We don't even know who your shadow chancellor is. You're relying a lot on trust, on your ability to persuade voters. Why should they believe you?
16 months ago, you didn't give the party a cat's chance in hell of winning a single seat.
Well, you won 5 MPs.
Getting a significant
nowhere.
And just look what we managed to do in the last 16 months. It is a work in progress. We made. I tell you what. Just look how we broadened the team out, even over the course of this summer. So, is there going to be a moment in time when you're going to see a potential shadow cabinet? Yes.
When?
Are we? Not today.
Why not today? Because you're relying on... We're all here trusting you believe what you're saying.
Well,
why should we believe you?
The Labour Party have had 130 years. The Tories have had 200 years. I've been back in this for 16 months. Give me a little bit more time.
Not long ago, I introduced Claude Note, a powerful AI-enabled meeting assistant. And today, we're excited to have in hand Claude's latest upgraded version. Is this a platinum credit card? Nope. It's Claude Note Pro, your updated AI-powered meeting assistant. With 4 built-in microphones, Claude Note captures everything and records crystal clear audio up to 5 meters away. But it's more than a recorder. Take photos, jot ideas, mark highlights, and during key discussions, if I press the button just right here, it instantly saves 30 seconds of key audio as a highlight. I never miss important details. And you've got 50 hours non-stop recording on Note Pro, or 60 hours on standby. There's a smart display showing battery life, recording status, and file transfers, so you always know what's going on. Then, Claude turns it into structured notes, summaries, insights, to-dos, even analysis of power dynamics in the room. And with Ask Claude, your contextual AI assistant, you can draft emails, extract data, brainstorm, or find anything across past meetings. And you're safe knowing that your data is yours and completely private. Click the link in the video description to pre-order your Claude Note Pro. And if you'd like to experience Claude Intelligence even earlier, I've got a special offer for you. Use the code GB20 when ordering Claude Note and get 20% off.
Big figures out today on migration. Have you seen them? They've revised up the 2023 ONS figures from 906,000 to 944,000, but they've cut the figure for last year in 2024 from 431,000 to 345,000. The Boris wave is subsiding, isn't it? You're losing the argument here.
Well, Boris isn't there. I mean, you could argue that. Look, If you actually look historically at net migration into Britain from the late 1940s right up until the end of the 1990s, you're averaging net migration of about 30,000 a year. Some years, of course, even lower than that. So even if the 345,000 figure is true, it is still 10 times historically what we were able to absorb for decade after decade. It's still a massive number.
What we can't get from Labour is what they would cut the small boat crossings to. They won't give us numbers. Will you end them within a few months of becoming Prime
Oh, yeah,
Minister?
just like Tony Abbott did. Tony Abbott.
You will do that?
Tony Abbott was elected in Australia. He said, vote for me, I will stop the boats. And guess what? He did.
And how do you do that? How do you if you tow them to France, they won't accept them. You'll be invading French waters with UK warships. Well, back to Agincourt.
There's a couple of very, very basic things you have to do. Number one, you say, and you pass a law that nobody that comes via this route will ever be given refugee status. Number two, you are not free to walk the streets. You will be detained. As simple as that. And number three, you will be deported. And it's a really funny thing. I'm told, well, of course we can't send people back to Afghanistan. Well, you know what? The Germans are sending planes to Afghanistan every single week. So all of this is about political will. All of this is not being afraid in the short term of being condemned by some international courts and communities.
How can we judge your record in local government so far? There are question marks about Kent, for example, your local council, of course, as a Kent MP. Why do we think you can do better against the so-called inertia of the blob?
Well, 2 points to make. Firstly, we've only been there for a very short period of time. Secondly, you're placing a level of scrutiny on us that you never bothered to do with Liberal Democrats, Conservatives or Labour.
Because you're untried, you're untested. They've been around for a while.
Oh, they've been tested, all right. Don't worry about that. And they've both failed completely. And that's why people want something fresh. They want something that is new. And they want something that's actually got a coherent vision of where it wants to get to. Will we be perfect? Of course we won't. Are we heading in the right direction? You betcha.
Nigel Farage, thank you for joining us today on GB News. Thank you.
Wow, that was Nigel Farage speaking to Christopher Hope. I like this line. We said, I'm in politics to do something, not to be someone.
It's very interesting, isn't it? Well, let's get the reaction now from a Labour MP for Kettering, Rosie Writing. Rosie, good afternoon to you. Hopefully you got to hear at least some of the interview there with Nigel Farage. Did you ever see a world where the leader of Reform UK is considering, from what I heard, voting with the Labour government on this issue? But of course, a big caveat to that, and in terms of the amendments which may come through.
Everyone has known that the asylum process has not been working. I hear it from my constituents all the time. In fact, it's probably one of the top issues that's raised with me, both in my inbox and on the doors. So I think if as a Labour government is addressing those issues, as we said we were going to in our manifesto, it's not surprising to me that he would want to support that, as I think he should. I think things like this should be supported cross-party, as there is an understanding across the board that this needs to be fixed. We need to have a fair and transparent system for people coming in to our country. But what I don't agree with what Nigel Farage just said is that this is something about us. We're doing this because he has pushed us to. This is not about that. This is about a Labour government fixing the crisis that is in front of us that we inherited. It's our moral obligation to do that for the people who work incredibly hard in this country and want a country that works for them.
Okay, so Rosie, you're not...
Yeah. So do you agree with Shabana Mahmood then and her plans, and will you vote for the plans that she puts forward?
Yeah, I support Shabana in her statement yesterday and what she's laid out in fixing this absolute mess that we've inherited. I think people have waited to hear this for quite a long time.
But one of the things she said was about confiscating jewellery if it's up to the value they've got,
No, I think she categorically said yesterday and made really clear that we will not be removing jewellery. There's talk about assets. I think there was a story came out about an individual who had an Audi and was on welfare. That isn't fair. That's not what we want. But jewellery is very separate. And we've categorically said, and I'm glad you asked me this actually, because I think it's important to clarify that we will not be removing people's jewellery on the border.
What if they've got a Rolex?
Well, like a jewelry holds sentimental value for a lot of people, and we've said assets. Yes, I mean British people their assets are looked at when it comes to welfare. So it's right that we look at that, but jewelry can be quite sentimental and personally, and we've said that we won't be doing that.
Rosie, one of the concerns for the government is backbench Labour MPs. And as you say yourself, you're going to be supporting government on this, and yet 20 so far have gone on the record to say they will not be supporting this, which led to Kemi Badenoch, for example, yesterday saying that she would be willing to offer cross-party support. What's your message to those Labour MPs who are going to oppose the government here?
Well, I hear rhetoric, I mean, from the Green Party and individuals kind of pretending this issue doesn't exist. And this isn't about party politics. The British people can see that there is an issue here. And like I said earlier, it's our moral obligation as a party in government not just to walk by issues and pretend they're not there, even though sometimes that would be the easier thing to do, but address them head on. And this is something that needs to be addressed. Like I said, it's one of the top issues that my constituents want us to take action on. And I'm pleased to see that we're doing that. But when it comes to Kemi supporting us and her kind of rhetoric from the dispatch box yesterday, it's quite shocking to me because they take absolutely no responsibility that the mess that we're in is partly because of their open borders policy and the number of hotels that the taxpayer fitted the bill for across the country.
Well, to be fair, your Smash the Gangs hasn't done anything. In fact, we've got more people coming in. And you guys dipped Rwanda, which you're now probably needing a third place, or return hubs, as you're calling them. But just on the matter of Sir Keir Starmer, do you think he'll make it till the end of this Parliament? A lot of people are saying, a lot of the MPs are saying that they don't want him there. Do you want him there?
What people in Kettering elected me to do and what the people of the country elected the government to do is to get on with the day-to-day issues of fixing this country and making it work better for the ordinary people. And I think of those people every single day when I come into Parliament. I think people want us to focus on that, and that is being done by Keir Starmer's leadership.
So that's a yes then?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you
Okay,
for that.
Labour MP Rosie Whiting, thank you very much for joining us.
All right.